The famous philosopher Aristotle describes love as a single soul inhabiting two bodies. Love is the emergence of emotional and sexual feelings. Loving someone means existence of a person who you care more than yourself. You will keen in on each other. If everything works out correctly, you might want to be together all the time. Some days you may spend lots of your time thinking about your loved one. You may even love her or him so much that you can't even imagine a life without your lover. So here is the huge question. Does anyone want to be involved in a romantic relationship with such a huge love? If yes, is it good for our soul? Does the impact of love on humankind positive or negative? This is an open question which needs to be answered. By the time when humans were questioning the effect of love on human being, the goddess of love and beauty decided to find an answer. So she organized a dinner. Aphrodite, called as Venus in Roman mythology, the daughter of Zeus, the goddess of love and beauty, has the power to rule over all the living creations. She protects all those who is on her side and recognizes her authority. On the other hand, she punishes those who neglect her worship or despise her power. Therefore, during the dinner she had to be sitting in the middle of the table, middle of everyone who were affected from their love in different ways. She was the moderator of the dinner. Her first guest was Eros. Eros. Eros is described as a son of Aphrodite. He ensures love to find its way in the hearts of men and women by using bow and arrow. He is represented with golden wings and covered eyes. He is also represented as a blind bird, flattering above somebody while targeting him or her, make him or her fall in love with the first person they see. He has the power to control love over all the living creations, similar to Aphrodite. That's why he must be placed near Aphrodite in the table. Eros claims the effect of love on humankind is positive. He even believes loving someone will heal your soul. Aphrodite asked Eros to invite people whose love stories support his argument about love. He invited two couples who waited for long years in order to be together with their loves. These couples are sitting next to him at the dinner. Dante and Beatrice. Dante is an Italian poet in the Middle Ages. He met his great love Beatrice when he was 9 years old. Apparently it was love at first sight. Although the couple has met only 4 times, Dante had a great love for Beatrice. Later, he married another woman, but he couldn't forget Beatrice. After he heard about her death, he was very upset and tried to find strength with literature and philosophy. In this way, he created his major work, the Divine Comedy. It tells about the story of Dante, who reached Beatrice in heaven after his journey through hell and purgatory. By the time he met her in heaven, his soul was purified, therefore he found the eternal happiness. Although Dante's love to Beatrice is platonic in real life, he made it real in fiction. He didn't let his love go. Odysseus and Penelope. The Odysseus is an epic poem written by Homer. It explains the adventures of Odysseus, who is far away from his home for 20 years. He usually thinks of getting back home to his wife Penelope. They were in a great love. In one of the letters she writes Odysseus, "I'm yours, I will always be." For all those years Odysseus was absent, Penelope never lost her hope. At the end, they come together after all those years full of sadness and difficulty, and they became very happy. The love of both couples proved the positive impact of love on people's lives, even though they had to face hard times. Eros also invited one couple. This couple does not prefer to fight for their lovers and lived miserable lives. They were sitting on the side of Eros. Ophelia and Hamlet. Hamlet was written by William Shakespeare. It tells a tragic story of a prince whose uncle murdered his father and married directly after his mother. Hamlet is an unstable character. He lost his faith in woman because of her mom's behavior. Ophelia and Hamlet were lovers. The story tells that both Ophelia and Hamlet betrayed each other because they were manipulated. They both turned into mad people and died. Imagine the life that might have occurred if they chose each other and ran away from the castle. Love had given them a great life with happiness, but instead they died at the end. What a misery. Then Aphrodite decided to invite Epicurus. Epicurus believes loving someone will bring you non-satisfaction and it will hurt you. Epicurus represents the negative side of love. Epicurus. Epicurus was an ancient Greek philosopher. According to his philosophy, Epicureanism, life must be lived without pain, and the people must avoid everything which may restrain their pleasure. Love is the combination of friendship and sexual intercourse. It makes people care specifically for one person. However, if one feels too much affection, it may hurt and also restrains one's pleasure. Epicureanism agrees that relationships based on natural feelings are healthy. Those which are based on reasonless passion or emotional dependency should be avoided. As Richard Kreitner writes in his article, He Stoics and the Epicureans on Friendship, Sex and Love, love brings unsatisfaction, hence it must be avoided. As Epicurus rejects the idea of emotional love, he contradicts with the creator of love in humankind's heart, Eros. Epicurus must sit opposite to Eros, near to Aphrodite. Epicurus immediately called the ones who died because of love, and they sat at his side at the dinner. Mark Antony. Mark Antony was a loyal general of Julius Caesar. After Julius' death, Antony shared the leadership of Rome together with Octavian. One day he met Cleopatra, the well-known pharaoh of ancient Egypt. Antony was very impressed by her beauty and fell in love with her. Although he was married to Octavia's sister, he betrayed her. Octavian declared war on Cleopatra and Antony because of this betrayal. Antony was told that Cleopatra was killed. He loved Cleopatra so much that he couldn't even stand her death and took his own life. The death of Cleopatra is still discussed, and most of the rumors claim that she killed herself with snake's poison after she learned Antony's suicide for herself. Dido. Aeneid is a Latin epic poem written by Virgil by the time of Augustus. It tells the legendary story of Aeneas, who is the founder of Rome. While Aeneas was sailing to Italy, the cruel storms of Juno made them come to Carthage, where Dido was the queen of Carthage. They fall in love and lived together for long years, until his duty came to his mind, discovering a new city. He left Dido in order to achieve his goal, and Dido was devastated by his departure. She committed suicide using Aeneas' sword. Her love for Inez was her end. The death of Antoinette Didot showed that love has a very negative impact on people's lives. It has brought them non-satisfaction and restlessness, so they were relieved only after death. And Epicurus called the ones who has to pay a high price because of their trust to their lovers. Adam and Eve. According to creation myths, Adam and Eve are the first man and woman in the earth. God created Adam first and sent him to the Garden of Eden. God placed a tree of knowledge in the garden and strictly forbade Adam to eat any of its apples. And God created Eve from Adam's rib. Eve ended Adam's loneliness and filled his life with happiness. She was exactly what he needed. Their relationship was one of perfect purity and innocence. They didn't even know if there is such a thing as relationship. They didn't know anything about clothes. They didn't know how relationship occurs. They didn't have any examples. They just had pure desires. This was truly a perfect marriage with purity until Satan provoked Eve to eat the apple. Eve ate the apple in spite of God's prohibition and offered also Adam to taste the apple as well. Adam couldn't stand Eve's offer and he bit the apple too. As a result of their disobedience, God banished them from the Garden of Eden. Adam trusted Eve so much that he believed everything she told was a good thing, so he didn't even think before he bit the apple. His love caused them to lose their purity. They trusted each other because of their love, but at the end, they had to pay a high price. During the dinner, lots of ideas were thrown up in the air. Aphrodite couldn't really decide if the power of love has positive or negative impact on humankind. All of the ideas are true and based on real stories. As William Shakespeare writes in his play, A Midsummer Night's Dream, the course of true love never did run smooth. It's hard to decide whether the impact of love on people is good or bad. In some cases, it makes you the happiest person in the world, and in the others, it makes you feel so hopeless and upset. Briefly, loving somebody is gambling. If you want to take the risk, you may win.